Ant due for a historic game? The stat that says he's better than Michael Jordan. It's not according to me, it's according to Josh. Also, Devin Booker's better than Michael Jordan. But right now, Cat attack. 20 points in the fourth quarter. Threes, dunks, timely free throws. One of the best quarters of his career. Cat last night only had 4 points to start, and then the fourth quarter he came alive. 20, had 8 rebounds, 6 for 9 from the field, and 3 for 4 from 3. Did New York take control of this series?
I think so.
Wow.
So I think it's pretty clear home court, not only does it not seem to matter, it's maybe detrimental.
Yes.
Like for both these teams,
I don't know
both
why.
these teams are unbelievable on the road this postseason and pretty mediocre at home. So I don't even know what, like there's 4 games left. 2 are in New York, 2 are in Indiana. The critical Game 7 is in New York, which is, I guess, great for the Pacers. I don't know what to make of any of this, but throw the home court part out of it. I feel like that. Here's why I think they retook control. I feel like this Game 3 loss is as emotionally devastating for the Pacers as the Game 1 loss was for the Knicks, and here's why. The Game 1 loss was a historic meltdown, and it, to me, clearly impacted the Knicks in part in Game 2. Game 3 was it's not even one of the 5 biggest kind of blown games of these playoffs. Like, we've seen 20-point leads all the time.
Right.
But the Pacers knew at halftime of that game, man, we are one solid half from being in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
So up 3-0 is done. The series is over. And now they go into Game 4 feeling like, man, this team has played. The Pacers can't feel like we're head and shoulders better than this team. These two teams have played each other dead even through 3 games. Somebody's got to be up 2-1. But all the stats, everything, they are, I think it's a 2-point difference in total points in the series. They're eye to eye. And I think the wind that comes out of your sails from having a series done to now we are right back in the fight is going to impact them in Game 4. And so I think the Knicks, I do think the Knicks are the better team. It's not because I think the Pacers are bad. I think it's like a A- versus a B+. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I think the Knicks have retaken control of the series.
I couldn't possibly disagree with you more.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not the mathematical whiz that you are. I don't know the new math. But I do know that 2 is closer to 4 than 1 is.
Yes.
So how in the world could the Knicks be in control of the series? If you want to say they're back in it, in control, and I don't think the Pacers are tripping at all. I think the Pacers are like, we let our foot off the gas. One thing you can see from Haliburton and these guys, they don't get flustered. Now, neither do the Knicks, but they don't get flustered. I guarantee they aren't like, oh, my gosh, we had it. Now, I think rightly so, they should be like, man, we let that go. Like you talked about Boston being up 20, and everybody was saying we were up 20, we're better than this team, but it didn't pan out that way. I think the Pacers are clearly the better team. Now, not by leaps and bounds, but I think through the first 3 games, they've shown they're the better team. If you want to compare Game 1 to Game 3 and say, okay, Pacers should have won Game 3, they let it go. Knicks should have won Game 1, they let it go. That evens things out.
Game 2 is a 1-point game with 15 seconds.
But I thought the Pacers controlled that game. I thought the Pacers looked like the better team. The Pacers are more balanced. The Pacers have a championship coach. Thibodeau obviously is a great coach too. The Pacers, I think, have a better system. The Pacers move the ball and players move better. Like, they just look to me like the better team. And again, they're closely matched. But I don't think they're worried at all. And here's the last thing, Nick. This is what the Pacers do. Each series this season, this is what has happened. They beat Milwaukee twice. Got blown out in Game 3, right?
Yes.
And then they beat Cleveland twice in Cleveland, got blasted in Game 3, came back and won Game 4. They beat New York twice in New York, didn't even get blasted. Actually, were routing the Knicks, lost by 6. I do not think that was emotional. I think game 1 was a very emotional loss for the Knicks.
No doubt.
I think
clearly.
game 3 was not at all.
So I oddly think that getting blasted would have been better. I think that if it's just like, all right, hey, this is exactly what's happened to us in the previous series. You know, we'll be fine. We're going to go up 3-1. As opposed to having the finals in your hands and then playing one of your worst offensive quarters of the entire season, which was the fourth quarter against the Knicks when they only scored 20 points. I also think we thought, Brew, both of us, that the longer the series went, the more that favored Indiana in different ways because of their style and their depth. All of a sudden, Indiana's rotation is getting shorter and shorter. Benedict Mathurin was huge for them in the regular season. Carlisle does not seemingly.
Well, he played last night.
But is not playing well. And
but then they threw in Tony Bradley, who we haven't even seen.
Right, which is kind of, I guess, the point I'm trying to make, which is right now the Pacers have 6 guys that Carlisle really wants to play. Because Obi Toppin is not playing great, he's still out there, but it's their starters plus McConnell. Like if you look at what the guys who have played more than
I think Shepard played 17 minutes and he's had moments.
Right, but so that's another guy that was not playing at the beginning of the series.
Say that. I mean, the Knicks throwing dudes in who have hardly played in the postseason.
Right, I guess that's kind of the point I'm making. Is the Knicks all of a sudden are expanding their rotation. And the Pacers, it seems to me, are contracting as far as who's getting real minutes. And so that's another reason that I think that the Knicks are right now better positioned than a team down 2-1 typically would be. That's
yeah, they no. Like, I totally disagree. Okay. I mean, for you to say he's shrinking his rotation when he played Tony Bradley 15 minutes?
Well, I think he is looking for another guy for the rotation because Mathurin and Toppin, who had been, but the Knicks are used to only playing 7.
No, but they threw in Landry Shamet, Delon Wright, like they've thrown in guys that they weren't planning on using.
100%. The Knicks are throwing in guys they weren't planning on using. The Pacers are not getting contributions from guys they had been relying on and are going elsewhere. So it's eye of the beholder, I suppose. Can I give you the take of the year though?
Oh shoot, I forgot. I should have teased.
You're gonna like this.
I was
take
hoping
of the year.
All right, you know how basketball, anybody does this. It's timeout. Everyone's allowed to call timeout.
Love it. Is this about?
Hold on. Let me do it. New rule for the NBA next season.
Take of the year.
Thank you, Wild.
Take of the year.
This is binding.
Yes.
This is binding. And guess what? It'll be fixed within a week. The moment any player on the court does this, all right, challenge accepted. And by the way, if you're out of challenges, it's just like when you're out of timeouts and you call one, that's a Chris Webber. That's a technical foul. Guys, you're right. You can call timeout. You can call for a challenge. You wave your finger around in the air. The refs say challenge.
There was a stretch where it was.
There was a stretch.
I'm tired of it myself.
Thank you.
I don't think you need to go that.
Why not? That's the only thing that fixes it.
Because what's the harm?
It's
annoying.
It's annoying.
I agree. I'm annoyed by it.
Every time, everyone's calling timeout all the time. And then you look to Rick Carlisle like, no.
There should be repercussions.
Every time.
It's the easiest fix in the world.
Sometimes both teams are doing it. Both teams are doing it. Offensive, no, review it. Like, I was shooting.
It's binding. If you do this,
take of the year.
The challenge counts.
But making it more challenging.
I am
what?
If you do it counterclockwise, it's just to your coach.
No, stop. You ruined it.
Yeah.
It would immediately, within game 5 of next year,
love it.
Every player would know I'm not allowed to do that.
Well, then there could be text if you do it and you're out of your challenge.
Yes.
Exactly.
I mean, it is
when
ridiculous.
They were out of the challenge,
golly.
Mike Breen was like, they're out of challenges. And everyone was like, thank God. Yeah. And then my little son is like, I bet someone still does.
Yeah.
It's mad. That is the take of the year.
Take of the year. This counts. It's binding. Do it.
Junior varsity take of the year.
What?
Pacers play better because John Haliburton's back in the building.
Oh.
I'm glad he's back. I wish they'd let him back in the front row, honestly.
Well, do you know where
he's going to be in a suite, they said.
A suite?
I think it said in a suite.
No. I don't want him.
I want him in the front row.
Yes.
He's not going to go out there and do something crazy.
Well, I'm not willing to put my reputation on that.
I want him in the front row.
Yes.
If not for this game, than for the next home game for the Pacers. Set him in the
Chalamet will
front
be
row.
there, just right next to Chalamet.
Well,
That would be sick.
Chalamet's pretty energetic.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chalamet, is a celebrity who's going to road games.
He is.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Sharipla doesn't leave
got a
the
little Spike
Metropolitan.
Also,
Lee in
this
it.
is
Little
this
Spike
is
Lee
a
in it.
take from someone else from a couple years ago about Taylor Swift, but it applies here. That Tim Chalamet and Taylor Swift's pilots, they got the job, thought they'd be seeing Rome and Athens and all these places, and then all of a sudden it's like another trip to Indianapolis and Kansas City. Let's keep it moving.
All right, head to the Western Conference Finals. Thunder had a historic playoff loss, but they are favored tonight. Strange, especially considering that Ant isn't just good in Game 4. Josh came into my office and said he's better than Michael Jordan.
No, he didn't say that.
Well, that's true, but just for dramatic effect, here's the graphic. Most points in Game 4s in their playoff careers. It goes Ant, Devin Booker, also better than Michael Jordan, who's better than Jerry West, and Jerry West is better
Also,
than Kevin Durant.
we need Booker to make the playoffs more so he can stop ruining so many of these lists.
100%.
Like, he just hasn't been there enough.
Two sons on there. Look at
Right,
that.
like-
Wow.
Are you surprised OKC is favored after the blowout loss?
No, I'm not surprised. I just think it's the respect that people have grown to have for OKC. You know, you look at the numbers, you know, I'm sure Vegas is looking at this as, and it was an aberration. I mean, a 40-point loss. So I understand it. And Minnesota has been inconsistent, you know, throughout these playoffs. Even if they win, there have been some games where they didn't look impressive even in wins, particularly against Golden State. So I'm not surprised. I think Minnesota's going to win tonight, but I can't sit here and act like I'm shocked that OKC is the favorite.
So I'm surprised, but I'm surprised when I suggested this question on the call, it's in the other direction. I thought they'd be favored by far more than 3 points. Yeah, because this